what's going on, everybody? Zach here with Brand Wild Pickups, and welcome to part 3 and potentially the final part of our 1965 Fender Stratocaster restoration. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, go ahead and check those out. Again, just a very quick recap. This is a 1965 L Series Strat in custom color foam green, and it had a bunch of modifications that we are undoing. In the last episode, we put some original tuners back on, and we did the pickups. Those are ready to go. Today, we are shifting our focus towards the wiring. So, I told you guys we needed a volume pot because this has been replaced with something at some point. We have here the volume pot. Finally arrived. Expensive little thing. If you want an original stack pole like Strat pot with a close date code to whatever else is in here, you're gonna have to pay up for it. I think this was like listed for $500. I think you finally got a deal on it or something. Craziness, but it'll be the right pot. And it was a tone pot too, which is kind of nice because there's no solder on the top, so I can make it look how I wish. That'll be good. We have to change the switch. I think we mentioned in part 1, I have the correct switch to put in it. Then we're gonna get the pickups wired in, and we have to kind of deal with this pick guard. I think we are going to go ahead and reuse the original pick guard. However, if you remember from part 1, the covers don't fit in here anymore because it's just shrunk up. Going to try to deal with that, and then at that point the electronics are done. Then we're going to be shifting more towards the setup aspect of things. If I can do all the setup work on this and get it playing really good, this might be the end of the video. If it needs a little more attention, we'll have to go to my friends and have him work on the setup. But anyways, we're gonna start on the wiring. Let's go to the bench. Okay, also real quick here, this isn't Strat related, but it's really cool. You guys will have to let me know if you want to see a video on it. This thing came in the other day. How rad is that? 1966 Epiphone Cornet with the very rare silver fox finish. Again, this is totally unrelated. This guy had brought in probably, 4 or 5 other guitars in the past, just to have the pickups replaced. And they were like American Strats and stuff like that, nice guitars. But then this one comes in, and it was just a generic case, and I open it up, and I'm like, what the hell? Wasn't expecting that. So this needs a little bit of work. The bridge has been replaced, and probably needs a setup and something. But if you want to see a video on this, let me know, and we'll go ahead and do that too. It weighs nothing. It's like 5 pounds. Anyways, let's go work on the Strat. Alright guys, quick update here. So we got the switch in and we got the pot in also. It's looking pretty good. And I also got the original covers to fit finally. It wasn't too much work. These covers actually seem a little bit smaller than the reissue covers that were in there. They're probably shrunk up a little bit too. So I just went in there and kind of touched up the inside of that, got those to fit all right. At this point, we're pretty much ready to put the pickups in, which are over here. So we'll probably start getting those put in here, and we're getting really close on the wiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the pickups in now, and I'll update you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, the pick guard is done. There it is. These knobs are in a little bit better condition than the rest of the pick guard, but that's all right. Got our original covers. I did what I could with the holes. We decided to just leave them. I figured to make them look a little bit better, I just took some like old masking tape that I have, and I put a little bit of green tint on it. And from a distance, it kind of looks okay. It's better than seeing the color underneath, I think. Look at the back. We did go ahead and just leave the original shielding thing. That's all right. All the wiring is done. Got the original switch in. There's our new pot. Pickups. Again, I aged some masking tape. Now, one thing I did do on this pick guard that I wouldn't normally do on like a repair or restoration is the solder joint on here. I aged it a little bit. Now, here's why I don't normally do that. Because you can age solder just like you can like a pickup cover or something. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, if the solder is shiny, it's been out before. But just because it's dull doesn't mean it hasn't been out before, because like I said, you can age it to make it look pretty legitimate, so don't always go by that. On this guitar, there's, you know, many things wrong with it. You kind of know something's up. But yeah, it came out really good. Whole harness is great. Luckily, all this stuff was already original still. New switch, new pot. Now the pot code is the 10th week of 1965 for the replacement. The other ones are the 16th week of 65. Close enough, right? Yeah, there we go. All the pickups are rewound. Everything looks great. Time for this to go back on the guitar. I had to work quick because, again, it's shrinking as we speak. Okay, back on the bench. We have our jack wires hooked up as well as the ground. Right in here, you can kind of see where that soldered blob is aged. This one is a little bit, and then that one's not. You can kind of see the difference there versus some of all the other solder joints. Yeah, so at this point, we're ready to go ahead and flip this over, ignoring the giant hole. If you squint, it's mint. And then, there we go. All right, let me get this guard on, then we're gonna start working on the setup. So, that's gonna just about do it for this one. Got it all back together. Look at that. The pick guard just kind of is what it is. Yeah, it's shrunken up, and it's got some holes in it, but, you know, it's just kind of a vibe. It looks cool. Got our original pickups and covers and knobs and all that good stuff in. Big transformation on this one, guys. I have plugged it in. It really sounds great now. It's about twice as loud as it was before. Like I said, those old pickups did make a little bit of noise, but they were definitely going dead. Big change there. So at this point, it's really just tiny little things. It kind of needs to settle for a day or two before I give it the final setup. I did end up putting a neck shim in it. It needed a shim to make it sort of play right. That's good to go now. And I do have to change these grub screws. Somebody has already replaced these, and they kind of put them in the wrong order. So you can see this one's sticking way up. Gotta fix that. That's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it sounds amazing, plays way better, and I think it looks way cooler too now it's got all of its original parts on it. So, at this point, I think we should go take a listen to this thing, because it is just about done. I'll wrap up that other stuff later, but let's go hear this thing. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and plug this thing in now. It's all done, like I said, except for a couple minor adjustments that I'll make in a few days. It plays so much better than when it came in here. That neck shim made all the difference in the world as far as playability goes. And of course it sounds better too, because it did make noise when it came in here, but it was really weak because the pickups were all dead. So for a clean sound, we are plugged into my 1967 Ampeg reverb rocket. Kind of brought that amp out of retirement. Used to use that for a ton of vintage guitar demos back in the day. Brought that back for the clean sound. For the dirty sound, we're going to use my Marshall JCM 800, which is a little more my speed. But we should probably do some cleans. So let's see what this thing sounds like. the strings are still brand new. So there you guys have it, 1965 Seafoam Green Strat. It's just such a cool guitar. We might do kind of a more full demo version of this, maybe in the future as a separate video if you guys want to hear some more tones out of it. But for now, that's going to do it. Really cool to see this guitar back in as original condition as it can be given the circumstances. Thanks again to my buddy Trey for letting me work on this. Shout out to my buddy Chase at Gullet Guitar Company for telling me it needed a neck shim. That was his call, I probably wouldn't have noticed that. But yeah, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more projects like this down the road, comment down below and let me know. But until next time, take it easy, guys.